host of the Gridiron.
With all of this, we have that. I saw a thing in one of the Facebook groups. Somebody said from Adam Schefter. I've been looking around. I couldn't find it. It said the Giants had the first overall pick. Now, I've been looking. Every article I see, you got Jacksonville has the first pick. Giants had the second pick. But once again, we still got 7 games to go. The Giants win a few games. They're not picking second anymore. I got news for you. But the thing is that I'm going to read this article. There's no everybody, there's some good points and some bad points. There's no, oh man. Hopefully, like Caleb Williams. Apparently he's kind of seemed like he's kind of going down the dump or whatever. So hopefully there might be 2 or 3 or so quarterbacks at the very top, and hopefully we might be able to find the right one. Jaden Daniels, Dave's one. Right? He said, I'd trade up for him. Oh, yeah. So he was right about him. So let's hope that Dables can find a diamond in the rough, in the draft next year. But according to this article here, right, if you look, is it this one here? Whoops. Pop it up to the top here. There is no obvious golden goose draft pick for the Giants to lose for. Right? So, the Giants are, if they lose, whatever. But, there's no, if they're looking for that goal, there's, what do you want to call it? Oh, yeah, there's 3 can't-miss quarterbacks. They all have some issues or whatever like that. So, hopefully 1 or 2 of them will be good. And hopefully if we do wind up picking one of them, hopefully we do wind up picking the right one. But, you can see with Caleb Williams, he had bad first few games. The next 3 games, he did really, really good. But these last 3 games, I keep reading articles. He might even be maybe getting benched or something like that. It's like, whoa. So I wonder if he's like Justin Fields II. Because, Justin Fields was supposed to be good. And nope. But now they had Caleb Williams, and it's like they could have had Jaden Daniels. But this article here, right? Let's see. Not all Giants fans were gutted by arguably the franchise's most embarrassing loss during an 8-year dry spell. In fact, there is a segment that rejoiced at the Giants 2-8 moving up to Sunday from number 7 to number 2 in the Tankathon, way too early NFL draft. That was the byproduct of their overtime loss in Germany. Score a victory for the pro-tanking crowd that is tired of seeing prideful players and coaches win meaningless games during the second half of the season to worsen their draft position. For every time that it works out, like beating the Commanders in 2019 and winding up drafting Andrew Thomas at pick number 4 instead of Chase Young at number 2, there's at least one counterexample wwhere it doesn't. Last season's 3-game winning streak engineered by rookie Tommy Chicken Cutlet Parmesan to improve from 2-8 to 5-8 pushed the Giants out of range for one of the top 3 quarterbacks. For example, their subsequent attempt to trade into the top 3 teams from number 6 were all rebuffed. The only sure thing as of now is that General Manager Joe Schoen would not select a running back at number 2. Whether the Giants remain at number 2 and Schoen remains the one making the pick will be decided over the next 7 games. But for what exactly are the Giants getting positioned? A quarterback to replace Daniel Jones if he is benched and then release him after the season with a $22.2 million dead cap salary charge? ESPN's draft analyst Matt Miller only has first-round grades on top 32 rankings on 2 college quarterbacks, Colorado's Sanders and Miami's Cam Ward. It's a unique class. There's not a great offensive tackle. There's not a great quarterback. Miller told the Post, the great players are at cornerback and defensive tackle. I think what we'll see more than anything is that teams who want to trade up for quarterback, it's not going to be as expensive as it's been. There is not that golden goose. The Giants certainly could fill a major need with a shutdown corner like Michigan's Will Johnson, Notre Dame's Benjamin Morrison, or Colorado's Travis Hunter, or a two-way star who also could be a top pick at receiver too. That bumps struggling 2023 first-round pick Deonte Banks into a less demanding role. Except that there are more questions about Johnson and Morrison now than before the season because they got hurt, one NFL scout said. Pairing Michigan's defensive tackle Mason Graham and Dexter Lawrence should immediately bolster the NFL's worst rushing defense. But Giants fans aren't welcoming losses for anyone other than their own version of franchise-changing quarterbacks. Giants have had at least one top 10 pick entering 6 of the last 7 drafts. Oh, my God. Jones was taken number 6 in 2016. The Jaguars currently hold the number 1 pick and won't be in the quarterback market. Trevor Lawrence signed a $275 million contract, but there are 11 2- and 3-win teams entering Week 11. As many as 7 could be looking to change starting quarterbacks in the offseason. There's going to be a lot of teams going to need quarterbacks in the offseason. That could be stock-boosting news for Miller's next crop of quarterbacks, including Georgia's Carson Beck, Alabama's Jalen Milroe, and Texas' Quinn Ewers. So those guys, but they may not be somebody you want to take at pick number 2, right? Some scouts might have a 3rd-round grade on Beck. 3rd-round grade, Miller said, but they think he will start getting drafted late because he has the cleanest evaluation. But you know how that is, too. You got a quarterback who could have a 3rd-round grade on him, and all these guys jump at it, and he might be big. He might be taken in the teens. Who knows, right? Sanders, Beck, and Ewers were all at the top of mock drafts when the season began. Ward and Milroe are the big risers. Ward, what happens in the spring matters, Miller said, referencing the college all-star games, NFL Combine, pro days, and team meetings. So we can still see a pretty big rise from these quarterbacks, which is true. So the thing is that, as of right now, there's no, there's like no golden goose. That there's no, how like last year, you can, there's like, possibly the first 3 picks might be all. Because we don't know exactly who's taking number 1, who's picking number 2, what teams are, because we still got half the season left to go. All that stuff can change big time, right? But there are a lot of teams. We got it here. Where are we at here? Okay, the draft. There's a lot of teams need quarterbacks, right? Not the Jaguars, but you got the Browns, you got the Giants, you got the Raiders. Now, Miami's 2-7. You're not sure what's going on with Tua, right? But you got the Titans, the Patriots. They got made are good there, but maybe the Saints. Now, they got they may or may not be, right? They took the Rattle Man, I believe, right? Spencer Rattler, so they may not be. But Carolina, the Jets, the Jets are 3-6 with Rodgers in there. Their season's over with. They need a quarterback. So, as of right now, right, the top 10 teams, and I'm just going by the top 10 teams on the draft board right now, at least 7 of them are going to need quarterbacks. And that's not even including the other 22 teams. That, of course, not every of the 22 teams after that going to need quarterbacks. But I tell you what, there's some quarterbacks to be taken, but When it says it's not a killer draft for quarterbacks. So Giants need a quarterback. Doesn't mean that there can't be a good, solid quarterback out there. You just got to, as of right now, there's no definitive like number one, right? What said in that article. After the season's over with, right? You have the combine, you have the team meetings, you got the all-star games, right? And all of that. Let's see, that's where some of these guys are going to rise and fall and all of that, right? So if Dable's around, I mean, he knows quarterbacks. He knows what he wants. He knows what he needs. He knows the kind of guy who can get in there, right, and run his offense and all and everything. Obviously, it takes watching a ton of tape, right? Doesn't mean the guy doesn't have phenomenal numbers at college. Doesn't mean he can't make it into pros, right? I mean, Phil Simms completed, I think, 48% of his passes in college at Morehead State, and he got taken in the first round. So just because, you don't have phenomenal numbers, right? But you kind of see a lot of it anyway. You see, 1 week, one guy does good at quarterback. The next week, he doesn't do so well. And somebody else does well 1 week, and then he doesn't do, so there's no, I mean, maybe Sanders, Ward, but they just lost to Georgia Tech. You would figure he could maybe have a real good game in that one, but it is what it is. But just because the Giants are taking number two, that article says there's no golden goose laying the golden egg as far as quarterbacks. So.